Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice of radio. So today, we're going to be looking at another Rumored GX. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, because we looked at a whole bunch of Rumored Tag Team GXs. It was fun. And then, they started actually revealing them all. I know, right? They revealed Mimikyu and Gengar Tag Team GX. So we now know what that does. And then they revealed Latios and Latias Tag Team GX. They revealed Magikarp and Wailord. Ladies and gentlemen, they revealed all of them. And weirdly enough in English as well, which was really kind of cool. I do very much enjoy that they got spoiled or revealed at least in English at the same time as Japanese. Certainly makes it easier making a video. The thing is, there was a set revealed that would be coming out a little while ago, and we know that the set is called Full Metal Wool. Makes perfect sense. Sounds like a set with lots of big, beastly metal Pokemon in. And then the dummy artwork they gave us, which was definitely nowhere near final artwork, had Buzzwole and Pheromosa on. Which is clearly a little bit weird, right? Now, of course, what we did was we did a nice little prediction video about Buzzwole and Pheromosa Tag Team GX. I'll pop a link to that one in the description. Incidentally, we're 90% sure that is a fighting type now because we've got Celebi and Venusaur, which incidentally has also been officially revealed in English. But we kind of knew something else was coming because it's called Full Metal Wool. And we hadn't seen a metal Pokemon yet. Or metal tag teams yet. We've seen plenty of metal Pokemon. What we hadn't seen was a metal tag team GX. And I thought, right, something's coming. Well, today, we saw some new sleeves which are being released in Japan. Here they are. And yeah, I mean, they've got Lucario and Melmetal on. Clearly, we are getting Lucario and Melmetal Tag Team GX. How do I know that? Well, first of all, it was sleeves which essentially led us towards Mimikyu and Gengar, and that got confirmed as true. But also, look at the artwork. This is clearly Mitsuhiro Arita hand-drawn artwork. All of the official Tag Team GXs we've seen so far, I'm not counting the alternate art ones for obvious reasons, they have all been drawn by Mitsuhiro Arita. And although we don't have an artist credit on the sleeves, you never do, I mean, look at it. Look at it, it's clearly drawn by Mitsuhiro Arita. I've shown you a bunch of the Tag Team GXs in this video. This clearly has a very similar pencil-drawn style. So we know we're getting it. The question, I suppose, is why these two? Well, Melmetal is easy. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee introduced this as a brand new Pokemon. And, well, yeah, I mean, it's the Pokemon from Let's Go. We want to introduce this as fast as we can. Now we know we're getting a Melmetal GX. I did a prediction video about that. But then again, we also know that mythical Pokemon are generally revealed in their own set, in the same way that Burning Shadows gave us Marshadow. Again, not a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. That's the kind of stuff that happens. So we knew it was coming in a set, so it turns out the Full Metal Wool is a Melmetal set. But why Lucario? Now look, Lucario has always been one of the more popular Pokemon. We've had a whole bunch of Lucario in the past, and to be perfectly honest with you, it was one of the early revealed ones from Diamond and Pearl. But I think it's much simpler than that. Smash Brothers is coming out. Smash Brothers Ultimate is coming out rather soon, and Lucario's a playable character in Smash Brothers Ultimate. So, yeah, why would you not be pushing that? Now, as much as I would love to think this is the reason, and ideally would, it was a playable character in Pokken Tournament. You guys by now should know how much I love that game. But the reality is that's an older game. The DLC we had came out a long time ago. So it's probably not because of that. Although it probably doesn't hurt. I'm not saying that it would get in Lucario purely because of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I mean, it would fit quite nicely from a marketing standpoint, don't you think? I'm just putting that out there, ladies and gentlemen. I feel pretty good about that. So, That's who we're getting, how we know we're getting it, and why those particular Pokemon. But the question is, what's it going to do? Well, we don't have a huge amount of a baseline here, because we don't get many Metal Lucario. Like, at all. If you look at this lovely little graphic from Bulbapedia, this shows just in a nutshell all the Lucario we've had previously and what typing they were and what set they were revealed, or released I should say. And you'll notice that in terms of mainline Lucario, it's generally been fighting type. In fact, we've only ever had 2 Metal Lucario. We had the one from Platinum, which to be fair did have one rather nice attack that did more damage for each bench Pokemon you had. And then more recently we had the one from Fates Collide, the Fight Alone Lucario that, let's face it, we all tried to make it work, didn't we? We all failed, but it did like nuts damage just so long as you had like no Pokemon on the field. Oh, we tried, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly tried brainstorming around with this one. I wanted it to work so badly. But it never did. And then we saw that Lucario Level X, fighting type. Lucario EX, fighting type. Mega EX, fighting type. GX, fighting type. Yeah, lots of fighting type Lucario. So we don't have much to go on. And we've never had a Melmetal card. So, with all of this borne in mind, it's really quite hard to do a prediction video about a pair of Pokemon where we don't know too much about them. And it is interesting to me that we've never had one of the Chase Lucario be a Metal type before, and yet we have one now. Now, the good news is, unlike when we looked at Melmetal GX, we do now actually have a little bit of information about Melmetal. I mean, given that it's a big piece of metal, you probably won't be surprised to find that it's not very fast, but it does hit pretty hard. Yeah, that's pretty much what we'd expect from Melmetal. So expect a high HP, because you've got 2 evolved Pokemon, one of which at least has very high HP / defenses. So we're looking up at kind of the 270 range with something like Eevee and Snorlax, rather than the 240 range with something like Mimikyu and Gengar. Okay. We can also assume that we're going to be having a very high retreat cost here. Why would we not? Low speed and 2 evolved Pokemon. But I think the thing we can really say here is that it's called Full Metal Wall. So why would it not be a wall kind of card? We should expect high HP, but we should also expect a bunch of other stuff. Let's not forget that shield energy was a thing for metal Pokemon, which reduced damage done to you. Let's not forget that special metal energy was around for a while and blocked some of the damage done to you. Let's not forget that we recently had Reverse Valley rotated out that reduced the amount of damage done to metal Pokemon. Given that they are walling by their very nature, and given that the fact that it's called Full Metal Wall, expect an attack which reduces damage done to you the following turn. I think that's a fair assumption to make. And being a metal Pokemon's going to be pretty good. You're going to be hitting weakness against a whole bunch of Pokemon which are quite good right now. Granbull is seeing weirdly a large amount of play. Gardevoir just won a large regional. Sylveon's never really gone anywhere. And let's not forget that we recently looked at Sylveon and Gardevoir Tag Team GX, which, you know, that looked like a pretty decent card. As with all of these, I just want to know what it does. And I'd like making videos explaining why we know we're getting one and what it's likely to do and what we do know about it. We know high HP, we know high retreat cost. It's fair to assume one of the attacks will reduce damage done to it next turn. We know it's hitting a good weakness. Of course, we also know it's going to be weak to fire. So as much as it hits a good weakness and that's good, it's weak to Blacephalon. And Blacephalon Naganadel, frankly, is the best deck in the format right now. It was the most represented deck in the top cut of the Roanoke Regional Championships recently. And the problem is that these Tag Team GXs give up free prizes. So actually, it's going to be a little bit awkward in that regard. It's not going to be the easiest thing to try and work out. But nobody said you can't play other Pokemon. And do remember that Metal Pokemon have a few tricks. We've got Mount Coronet to get your energy back. We've got Delmai, so you can do an extra 10 damage with your attacks. That could well come in handy, because you can, of course, play multiples of those. And we've got both Magnezone and Solgaleo Prism Star, which can be used to accelerate energy to this. So we've definitely got some options. We don't know what it does. This is just a prediction video where we talk about what we know and how we know it's coming and all of that. But we know that it's going to have some decent support. And we know that it's going to hit a good weakness. But we also know it's going to have a bad weakness. As always, a second that this is actually revealed, the second we know what it does, I will get on the microphone and start making a video about it. The second I have any information, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a generous soul. I will happily share it with you. But for now, I would really like to know your predictions, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays for some more Wassy action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.